Agent here, and we're going to do something a little different. We're going to play a mech. I don't think I've ever done a mech video before, so we're going to pick this match up about 15 seconds into it, right as I blink into the front lines. And first thing I'm going to do is shoot the aircraft. I've got lasers on this thing. I don't have anything else. I don't even have a nano on the back. Just pure lasers, so I'm going to focus on aircraft a lot because lasers are very good for taking down air. They're better than flak in some cases against certain opponents, and they're better than lock-on missile launchers because they don't have to have the lock-on time. There's no warning that you're being aimed at, and they're not quite as good as rails. They only have the element of surprise, and they don't deal nearly as much damage as rails do. So rails are your best AA, but lasers, in my opinion, are second best. And it doesn't look like we have any rails on our team. I believe we have one flak bot, but they have a lot of air, so I'm going to spend a lot of time looking at the sky and shooting at distant air targets. And if you notice, I let off the mouse button, or the trigger as I'll call it probably from now on, a lot, and that's so that I can close down my cone of fire back to something that's accurate enough to hit things at range. Sometimes if they're at close medium range, you can just hold down on the trigger and keep shooting and you'll land most of your shots, but at range you definitely want to tap fire, as they call it, which is fire a few shots, 3 to 5 shots, let off. Fire 3 to 5 shots, let off. I do a little bit more than that here. Some of the pauses you can barely see because I barely let off the trigger and just let it close down a little bit. You'll have to get a feel for it and figure out what works best at what range for what size bot. So I turn over here. I'm going to hang out in the middle a lot on this map because I'm very, very slow, and I do have a blink, but I like to have it ready for escapes. So I'm going to kind of hang out in the middles because with these lasers I can somewhat snipe distant targets, and we're going to strafe back into cover when we get shot at. This guy's going to jump again and shoot at me, so as soon as he jumps I just step out of the way. His whole plasma volley misses, and he figures out what's going on and that he's not going to hit me. So that's that. He moves. This guy, barely got him with the EMP, but I did. I thought he was going to keep going, and what I like to do with fast targets, especially hovers, is aim a little ahead of them. I don't want to catch them in the middle of it if they're moving. I want them to fly into it, so by the time they stop and try to reverse or strafe or keep going, the chances are better that you're going to catch them in that EMP, which we did. So I'm just kind of helping defend right now. I'm peeking out every once in a while. I'm shooting the rail just to give him a little bit of harassment, maybe disturb his aim and make him miss a shot. But I don't want to fight him at range, so we're just going to peek up every once in a while and shoot at him. But I am going to blink over here and help take this drone down that is beating on my ally, and see how they there were 2 of us shooting at him, so bear that in mind. But some of these drones fall apart rather easily under laser fire, so if you're able to hit them, they will come apart pretty easily. Their cubes that they're made out of are fairly well balanced, but they're not very strong because they're made out of like slopes and corner slopes and lightweight cubes that don't have as much health as full cubes, and we're built out of full cubes, so we're a lot tougher than a drone. That's why I said lasers are good at anti-air, and drones are one thing they are good at fighting in the air, especially drones that play peekaboo. Flak's not going to do a whole lot of damage because you're not going to get those stacks against them. They're going to land on stuff, they're going to play hover, so lasers are a good, solid, all-around choice for fighting a variety of opponents, including aircraft. So we're going to back out of the way. That guy, the drone thing, was up inside that tower shooting it, and so I just hit him with EMP and knocked him down out of it. Now he's back up, but we're going to try to finish him off so he doesn't heal. Drones are incredibly good at escaping and healing, and we don't want him to escape, heal, and come back to fight us. So we did finish him off. We almost got finished off ourselves by this guy with the plasma. I think it's mega plasma he's using, but I'm not positive. I don't get a close look at it and didn't pay that close of attention, but judging by the size and the damage of the plasma volleys that he's shooting, I'm pretty sure it's mega plasma, and that stuff hurts no matter how tough you are. We're not incredibly tanky because, like I said earlier, we do have a blink and we also have an EMP. I feel like when you're playing a mech, especially just a two-legged mech, you're not possibly going to be tanky enough to justify not using at least one module in it. Shield is a good module to pick with a mech because they are very slow. They're not very good at escaping unless you've got a blink. We're going to shoot this drone down again. Like I said, lasers, let off the trigger, let your cone of fire close back down. You'll be able to tell by your crosshair, and you will be able to hit small distant targets if you lead them properly. It's going to take some practice, but I highly suggest practicing at it instead of relying on things such as missile launchers and flak to fight aircraft. You're going to do a whole lot better against drones if you're able to use lasers and rails against them as opposed to the easier to use weapons, because while they're easy to use, they have a skill ceiling and you can only be so good with them, and the skill ceiling with rails and lasers is much higher. You can be much better with lasers and rails than you can those easy to use weapons, even the PSKs. Those weapons are basically hold the mouse button down and just aim somewhere near your opponent. Whereas with lasers, you do have to lead your targets and be able to land them. Once you get good with them, you will be a very devastating force on the battlefield. So we're going to try to defend this tower again. We've got multiple opponents attacking it. Problem now is we've got something shot at me. I thought it was this guy from the air, but apparently not. But we've got two opponents over there off to my left, and they're shooting our tower now from far away, so I'm going to have to go to them. I can't wait on them to come to my tower. I'm going to have to go to them to defend it. Luckily, we've got a buddy here. He's got nanos, so we're going to hit him with that EMP again. I really like to use it to defend towers, or at least clear the area underneath the tower. Very helpful for that. And now we're down to one opponent thanks to the guy that came over to help out. He gave me a little bit of heals, and he went in with what appeared to be a chain shredder or maybe some lasers of his own to finish the job on that guy. So now we've got the other guy that was attacking our tower pinned behind the little hillside there. We're going to go back towards the middle of the map and look over here. Again, like I said, I'm very slow, and I don't want to be too far on one side of the map or the other. I'm going to kind of hang out in the middle and hold things down as best I can from there. So we're going to help out over here. Guy wants our tower, obviously. He was hiding out behind that hill. I did know that he was there. I've got 2 radar on the spot, but they weren't really going to pick him up from that far away. So popped my EMP a little bit too early there since I'm so slow, but it still helps. We do get to dictate the engagement, and he's already partially damaged by the time he gets to actually shoot at us. He's chosen to use plasma, so we're going to jump and make ourselves a harder target. Jumping doesn't help a whole lot against PSK and laser, but we're just going to shoot those off, and then we're going to finish him off. Now, this guy didn't know what he was earlier when I saw him trying to sneak around, and I learned that he's a Tesla copter, which, you know, it's a admirable thing to try and fly something like that, but he's just not going to be that effective in this match. I'm going to keep an eye out from him, especially now that I know what he's up to, and we're going to shoot him down every time we see him. Copters, as purebred movement form with just copter blades, really easy to knock out of the sky with lasers. Just pepper their rotors with laser fire, and they will fall right down, and hopefully they'll fall down where your teammates can move in and finish them. A lot of times I like to use lasers at a closer range than I am now, but I'm used to playing rails and plasma, and I actually like to hang back and snipe with both rails and plasma, but I'm doing it with lasers now, so we're going to pop that EMP again, and he is out of the game for a minute. We're going to heavily damage him. We're going to shoot his guns off, and then I'm just going to turn away and let my ally finish him off while I help my ally fight this guy and possibly save him. So now we've dealt with 2 guys. They're not really threatening that tower right now, so we're going to, again, head back towards the middle, and I'm going to shoot at anything that's trying to threaten our tower over here, because I want to win this match. I don't want them to get that tower back. And at this point in the match, Our team is in their base, so I'm going to go ahead and move up. I don't want to be hanging back, being useless. If I need to, I can blink back over and defend a tower. But we're going to move up with the team, help suppress the enemy. I'm not actually going to go in and shoot the crystals because I want to be out here helping to defend. And luckily, my team knew what to do. They went in there, and then they finished the job. I think the enemy team wound up a man or two short at the end, which helped us. But we did top damage, and we only got 4th place in score because we didn't do much with towers. So hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.